I will be sharing with you things that you can do to make sure that you have the kind of marriage that you've been dreaming of and to hit your goals in your marriage. Yes, it's going to be an interesting topic because we're talking about drunkenness. And you may wonder, I don't drink alcohol. How can drunkenness affect me? We're going to see that drunkenness is not just alcoholic. We're going to talk about that. So stay tuned. God's power, God's love, God's peace that you have in your heart is way more powerful than you know. And the enemy has ways to try to rob you and me of that blessing. And so this is my goal in every broadcast. Every time I'm online, I want to say the truth to you, speak the truth to you in love, try to get your attention so that you can see that you are not alone. You have God's power in you. You have God with you anyway. The Holy Spirit is always speaking to your heart. You can tap into that and change your marriage. Whenever you are experiencing the desire to do some of the works of the flesh that we've been talking about, it's because you are hurt and you're finding ways in the flesh to protect yourself from losing love or respect, what you may call it respect or power or your safety. You are trying to get love, get praise, get power or control using the tools of the flesh. And we are saying, no, that is counter to what you really want. If you use the tools of the flesh, you are going to play into the hands of the enemy. And you're going to end up breaking your marriage. And one tool that a lot of men use to quench or cover the pain that they have been feeling all their lives, and maybe sometimes not even willing to talk about, is alcohol. And we'll talk about that. But we don't stop there, because some people don't use alcohol, they use some other thing. And all of that, we can put them in the same work of the flesh, drunkenness, because it's the same impact that it has on the marriage. But if you can deal with whatever is the source, whatever you're trying to cover, whatever you're trying to numb yourself from, you will also deal with the addiction. If you really want to enjoy marriage the way God designed it, you can never do so by walking in the flesh. All right, so what is drunkenness? The state of being intoxicated or inebriated due to excessive alcohol consumption. Yes, it has many things that are dangerous about it. So you lose coordination and balance. In fact, it just what drunkenness does to you is it takes control. Takes control of your life, takes control of your speech, your composure, takes control of your ability to make decisions. You make decisions slower, or you make wrong decisions because it slows down your ability to think or reason, and it helps you to lose your fear, though. So sometimes it looks positive. So this is why people fall into the trap. They think that, you know what, if I get intoxicated, then I can say things that I would not naturally say, or I can become free. I'm no longer ashamed. I will just be myself. But that's not yourself. That's the self that is intoxicated. And so what I'm trying to do right now is let you know that drunkenness is a work of the flesh, and it should remind you that if you like being drunk, if you enjoy being drunk, or alcohol now, you are under the works of the flesh, and it's just a matter of time. You will destroy your own life. Oh yes, you destroy your marriage, you destroy your health, you destroy your relationship with your friends, you destroy your job. And you know, I was speaking to a man the other day who's a doctor, and he's an alcoholic, and he told me that all alcoholics are liars. You become a liar because you want to do what you know you shouldn't do, And so you find ways to do them. And every liar will eventually destroy their relationships. No one wants to relate with a person who's not trustworthy. But knowing it doesn't change it. Did you know that? This is the doctor having this problem telling me his problem, but he doesn't have the power to help himself, because knowing the solution is not the same as having the solution. And the way the scriptures has designed it is you can have victory over the flesh by yielding to the spirit, not by trying to stop. You want to stop, you have a goal of stopping, you're determined to stop, but the real tool is to follow the Holy Spirit, which means instead of trying to stop taking alcohol, you go to spend time in the place of prayer. You go to spend time in meditating on who you really are as a believer. What did Jesus do for me on the cross? The meditation of that and that truth entering into the spirit will break you loose from certain things step by step. Sometimes just the realization that I have the Spirit of God in me, when that sinks into your spirit, it can break you free from the desire to numb your pain or just have pleasure. So, drunkenness, are there other ways that drunkenness can affect your marriage? Of course, the first thing, like I said, when you're drunk, you're not thinking straight. You don't feel like being a leader. You feel like solving your own problem. You're not going to be focused on your wife when you're drunk. You're going to be focused on getting pleasure. And once you're focused on getting pleasure, you're not focusing on obeying the Holy Spirit. Addiction to anything, drunkenness especially, because of the topic we're talking about, is a craving. You crave the alcohol. Why? Because of the buzz, the thing it does in you. You crave it. You crave it. All right. So it's not only that, you can crave other things, and it's the same. It's the same root, so we can apply them to the same thing. So as a man, if you have an addiction, it can be porn. It can, we talked about that in immoral lifestyle. It could be cocaine. It could be heroin. All kinds of drugs. It could also be painkillers. It could be marijuana. Whatever it is, I've worked with people who have some kind of addiction or the other, and the way to break loose of them is what I just shared with you, is to surrender your heart and your thoughts to the Holy Spirit, which means you stop pretending and start telling yourself the truth. You stop hiding behind your excuses, and you start saying to yourself, you know what, this is where the problem is. I'm trying to hide. I'm trying to get pleasure at all costs because I don't want to face the challenges of what some of these decisions that I've made are. So anything that we consume to the point where we're not the one controlling our consumption, it is controlling us. We can put them under the same umbrella, which is drunkenness. And how does it destroy the marriage? It strengthens your selfish, self-centered tendencies. It strengthens your flesh, and as your flesh is getting stronger, you are weakening your spirit and your awareness of the instructions of the Holy Spirit. And when you are not clear about what the Holy Spirit is saying to you in your marriage, you are obviously walking against the Spirit of God, and you cannot do God's spiritual work when you're not listening to Him. And marriage as a believer is a spiritual work. It's a ministry. It's a ministry. Okay, so if you are in that situation right now that you're struggling with some forms of addiction, consuming stuff that you don't, it's not good for your health, but you're still consuming it, then don't struggle to stop. That's not the first step. The first step is to realize that you are running away from something that was caused by pain in your heart because of hardness of heart. And then accept the truth that there's a way that God has made, which is to surrender to the Holy Spirit, of course, to open up to Him and get help. Get help from me if you want. I'm not an addiction specialist, and I'm not going to claim to be that. But I know that if you begin to walk in the Spirit, you begin to have victory. And that may lead you now to get an addiction specialist to help you move you forward. And as you combine those, you will see a definite transformation in your life. You will see a transformation there. All right. And if you are dealing with a spouse who is addicted to alcohol, gets drunk from time to time, it could be a woman. Because I'm talking to men these days, if your wife is drunk all the time, or she's addicted to alcohol or any kind of drugs, you can help her overcome that by helping her see that she as a person is not less for addiction, but she is under the influence of the flesh and under the trick of the enemy. And you do that by being an example. Always start by being an example of following the Holy Spirit, and then invite into that. Invite them. And of course, the last part is to draw the boundaries. So you may have to draw financial boundaries. You may have to speak to them and let them know the consequences. That you cannot come home and be drunk all the time. If we're going to keep doing this, I'm going to have to do something so that our children are protected, or so that I'm not hurt by your lack of control. I would suggest you don't do it on your own. Get help, get support, and you can reach out to me. If you don't have my email, just go adesobanjo.com /friends or /masterclass, and you will be able to register for one of my programs, and you get my email. Then we can work together. I started a group for men who are connected. They are part of this family. They subscribe to my channel. They are enjoying it. You want to connect with other men so that we can talk more, and you can get my support. Once a month, we'll do a live call, and you have my email. You can reach out. You in the community. We have a Slack community where you can ask questions and get responses from men, from me and some other men. And we open that. So if you want to be part of that community of men, then you go in the description of this video and register and join us. There are so many resources that you will find in our community, in our membership area. Those videos like this that will help you, different packages that would help you understand God's love, how to tap into it, how to overcome the challenges that you face as a husband, how to overcome the limitations that you have carried from your family, from your upbringing into your marriage, and how to handle those of your spouse, your wife. So if you want to see your marriage just get better, get strengthened every month throughout the year, then I want you to register and join us. It's just $7 for the month. It's not free, so that only those who are serious about their marriage can join, but it's low enough so that anyone from anywhere in the world can join. All right, so if you are interested, I encourage you to do that. Check in the link below in the description. You'll find the link there for the men's group, and I look forward to seeing you in the community. May the Lord bless you and strengthen you. If you're not subscribed to our channel and you've watched this video to this point, you are obviously being blessed by it. Please subscribe to the channel. May the Lord bless you and strengthen you, and may His grace continue to be upon you. Continue to love like Jesus and make an impact. Right? Bye for now.